Hello, I am Bob Costello. I am a candidate for the United States Congress for Michigan's new 14th District as a pro-life Democrat. I am a candidate totally committed to defending our constitutional right to religious freedom. I am a freedom fighter, and I want you to be a freedom fighter too. After 221 years, Washington, for the first time, has chosen to violate the U.S. Constitution by ignoring the First Amendment, specifically the interference by the government in Americans' free exercise of our religion. The First Amendment was ratified in 1791 and states, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." As an attorney, a Catholic, and an American, I am stunned, angered, and worried by the federal government ordering Catholics and the Catholic Church to violate our long-held religious and moral values. The federal government's mandate to have Catholic schools and colleges and hospitals, social service agencies, homeless shelters, and all other charitable enterprises provide for birth control, sterilization, and some abortion-inducing drugs to their employees is exactly what the First Amendment is meant to prevent. It makes no difference why the federal government is doing this. The only important point is that they are restricting religious freedom. This is not just a Catholic matter. All people of religious belief should be worried. If Washington targets Catholics, the largest U.S. religious body, 59 million people, what will the government do to other religious groups? Now is the time to stand up, to unite, to say no. Religious freedom is why many of the early settlers came to America. The Puritans to Massachusetts, the Quakers to Pennsylvania, the Catholics to Maryland. Millions of immigrants came to the United States for religious freedom. The Irish who were persecuted by the English, the Poles persecuted by neighboring countries, and the Jews persecuted by many. People are still coming for this reason today, such as the Iraqis and others. Religious freedom is a basic American right. It is the First Amendment, and it is the beginning of the First Amendment. It is not a Democratic or Republican issue. It is a basic American right. It is part of our very fiber. It is in our hearts and in our bones. If Washington restricts religious freedom, it opens the door to other restrictions on our other basic First Amendment rights, such as freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Our founding fathers gave us freedom of religion. Our parents preserved this right. Now it is our turn to be freedom fighters, to preserve this basic American right for our children. Please join me in being a freedom fighter for religious freedom. Pray for our country. Talk to your family, neighbors, and friends about this problem. This problem is real and must be confronted now. And if you live in Michigan's 14th District, send a strong message to Washington by voting in the August 7th Democratic Party primary and send Bob Costello, me, to Congress. Thank you.
Help defend your religious freedom by voting for Democrat Bob Costello for Congress. Bob Costello is the only Democratic candidate running who understands this grave threat to religious freedom. He has the backbone and personal strength to stand up for your First Amendment rights. Your vote, your volunteer help, and your financial contribution will help Bob Costello fight the good fight, the right fight for religious freedom. Join with Bob Costello. Be a freedom fighter. Paid for by Costello for Congress Committee.